You're ready.
Press the record button, and I gotta turn
On
these
a
boys
2.
down.
A3. Yeah, I can watch from your screen.
A3.
There's the
A
password.
4.
Okay, so
And
Barrett,
pass.
as I
Sounds
turn
good.
these kids down,
I will
Um,
not review, but I will draw my extra one.
Aoyama, we never get to see this guy.
I would agree with you, and I'm actually already so very hyped because this is exactly the only symbol I play Aoyama on, which is actually the life symbol.
Oh, I agree.
I'm so excited about this, not because I think what this deck might be, but what I'm hoping it might be. I have been playing Life Aoyama to staff strike people to death.
Oh, I
And
see.
it has been because what's the biggest weakness of staff strike?
It is a mid attack.
It's on an 8
It
in
is
most
on an
decks. Guess who gets to reduce the difficulty of the next attack they play?
That's pretty sweet.
So you take the biggest downside to staff strike, and you can knock it away with a character like Aoyama. Now it requires you playing very specific cards because of the weapon synergy, correct?
Right.
But playing a long chain like that, I don't care what character you are in MHA right now. Sometimes if you just play 7 to 8 attacks in a turn, your opponent dies.
I know this is. It does something.
I mean, that's true. That's true. And the fact that Aoyama kind of gets to give it like free stats, you know, like making it, making it a little faster, making it a little hit a little harder.
And I think that's part of the whole deck and why I enjoy it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and just rave about my Aoyama staff strike list because I don't think that's what we necessarily are seeing right here. It could just be like Aoyama good stuff playing the life symbol because the life symbol has really good defensive blocks and defensive power, and Aoyama kind of needs that because he already has the built-in aggression.
Yeah. The Aoyama deck that I made for the Iron Man that I'm gonna do in February is just like life throws, right? Like just like load up a bunch of good life throws, make them real stacked, and then just swing it. And I think that that deck has. I think the biggest issue with Aoyama, right, is he's got some really polarizing matchups. I think versus some characters, he just like actually can't win. I think he's got some of the most coin flippy decks you can play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think part of the problem too is like even just playing against the Earth symbol in general because the apathetic is just so strong against him, and being able to like his enablers, right? Because that's the problem with the life deck is he doesn't inherently flip foundations, but he wants flipped foundations to get this huge negative on or this big discount, right? Yeah. You have to use his support to get there. Now, as you can kind of see already on the Aoyama board, like as long as you have cards that have flip enhances, so man, I guess I could use my mouse. Let's use some words. Observant student, looking at the top card of your deck, right? Like, but it's look at the top card of your deck and give this attack +1/+1, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So this is incremental gain on top of using the abilities that you already have. Again, look top of the discard pile. Recovery Girl's Kiss. It's gain 1 vitality and give this attack +1/+1. But the biggest problem with the staff strike deck is, and Aoyama in general, is the more times you flip to give stats and use your ability, you're running out of face-up foundations.
Right. Because
Cards
Aoyama
like
really likes the verb flip. He doesn't like face-down foundations.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't do anything with them. Now, the life symbol, we gain self-sacrifice, which doesn't necessarily fix the problem of unflipping the foundations, but it allows you more room to create face-up foundations from building them normally while also staying out of deadlock.
100%.
So you have this kind of good. To me, Aoyama is one of the best well-rounded decks you can give to a new player and learn the mechanics of UFS. There's a cost to every good side that you want, but there's also a ton of downsides, right? I just took it to a little extreme, and let's build something high rolly like staff strike instead of just focusing on his specific kit. But you have to use his own resources. Cards like apathetic, they're gonna flip your cards that flip themselves.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. You do get the +1 on the apathetic flip though. Funny enough.
That is true. You do get the stats from it.
Yeah, because in this game, your opponent doesn't do anything. Your opponent tells you to do things. Can we talk about Jiro's card pool right now? What are the first 2 cards in that card pool?
Exactly. So I did want to hop over.
Technology.
Yeah, Crow and Frog Takedown is becoming the card to have right now from the Plus Ultra packs. I think everybody kind of thought like, oh, okay, you know, get your hand on some Plus Ultras. It's a sweet ass action card that blocks like for basically free. But Crow and Frog Takedown is just an attack that you can put in any deck.
Why didn't we just try and kill there? What just happened?
All right, I got no cards.
We had 3 cards in our card pool, and you can't see hands. We have 2.
Yeah, no, I can see him. I got it pulled up.
We got 2 home run comets.
Double home run comment.
That's 15.
It's definitely 15. I mean, yeah, he definitely tapped out as well.
Checks. Any responses?
I didn't see the end there. Did Jiro build that foundation or?
Correct. Yeah. We built a 3 diff.
I think they were just afraid. If you check the 3 there, you don't get the stats from Jiro, and you're just totally dead on a backswing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a real fear. It's game 1. Like, I think the way, if you look even like, especially like veteran players too as well, like you don't take a risk like that. I don't think in game 1 when you have such an upper hand, right? If you as the Jiro player just build those cards, or build the 1 card, I guess in this scenario, take the hits, keep them up, keep the momentum for these home run comments.
Mm-hmm.
But if you check a 3 there on that 6 and tap Jiro as well, like you don't even have the look at the top for your defensive turn, and it's just gonna be really rough.
So it was on a. We had 2 ready foundations, right? Or we had
Oh
1
my!
ready?
I totally forgot. Crow Frog Takedown doesn't count towards progressive.
Yeah.
So it was definitely okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think you just jam them, dude.
No, you're right. I'm over here thinking it's on a 6. It was definitely only on a 5 because we just had the jolt in our card pool.
Yeah,
right?
it might have just been that he didn't think he didn't see Aoyama's hand having been emptied, because like even one of those, like you just jam the momentum, it gets powerful 5, it gets the 5/5 and then slings. Oof.
Yeah. I'm already loving the attack lineup though for Aoyama. Again, don't think we're finding the staff strike deck that I was talking about.
Yeah,
but we're going
not.
straight into Aoyama and Froppy go hand in hand in their card support, just like how Jiro and Momo go hand in hand in their card support. Not necessarily because Aoyama cares about the ranged attacks, but Froppy, the character, flips cards just like Aoyama does, and cards like Frog Lashing synergize off of it. It's the same thing that you see going on with Aoyama here. Another naval laser also going on in the Aoyama's hand. That's probably what we're setting up for. Like the genuine play here is probably like you go the fleet attack, which we already went through for the tongue whip. We go frog lashing because it's a 3 diff, right? Especially now that we have the face downs, and then you just slam the last one at the end, which not only unflips your foundations if we have the momentum, which we don't. It's a little too early, but it still is what it gains the 2/2. The 1, 2. It's the 4/4, right? In him.
Right. Yes.
On a 6, 5, 6.
You got it.
Okay. 2 cards deep in pool. Aoyama can do 20, right?
Okay.
Maybe not with that check, but we could have committed our character in order to give +2 to the check.
Yeah, Aoyama definitely could have like gone in there again, and that's part of the thing about Aoyama is Aoyama's stat pump is playable while committed, because this is another character I talked about 2 weeks ago when I was here. Like there's just a bunch of characters in MHA where tapping your character to use your 1 ability that they have is either sometimes worth it to do what you were meant to do, or it's also just better to keep your character ready to tap to pass a check, right?
Right.
Now, in Aoyama's stance, the only reason you would do that is you wanted to use your character to tap for a defensive check, because you would rather use his enhance for his offensive ability.
Right.
So that's probably what he's planning. You're right. The line there was you play the frog lashing, even if you check that on it, it readies cards, and on top of that, you can use Aoyama to guarantee probably pass the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Before I don't do any.
But they were probably more planning of a defensive turn. We only have 2 cards in hand as Aoyama, but Naval Laser does have Breaker on it, which can really kind of be a deterrent, especially for Jiro. Haven't seen the full attack lineups yet for Jiro, but with only 4 foundations built, only 1 real way to ready a card, there's definitely a chance that holding that Breaker 2 instead of just going in on it was definitely going to be a deterrent.
5, 6, 7.
For
we'll have
sure.
Block Breaker 2.
Yep. So
It also
here's
depends
a
on,
strong.
if Jiro used her once per turn to peek at the top, right?
Yeah, and I don't think that is what happened. So Jiro is going in blind if wanting to play another attack here. You can easily just kind of weave a foundation into this turn and it not really be a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I agree.
So like there's a 0 diff. Did check an attack on it, so that's kind of like where you feel safe now. Like, yeah, we got through the breaker. I can play this on a 6 and it not be bad. Even though you check a 3, you do have 3 cards to tap.
Respond for speed.
This is
And respond.
It's pretty
probably
lethal.
A dead Aoyama?
Yeah, it's pretty lethal. There's Frog Lashing in his hand does not have a high block. Even if you get away with successfully half blocking this, especially if Jiro stacks a 3 here, like I think they know. There's even a world where you rescue completed during this, ready 2 of your face downs, you play another one on a 7, check a 5,
Flip
tap the
Amphibious
2,
with
like
Flip to give my attack +1 damage.
Yeah. This is interesting. I think he's gonna try and use
Oh.
Aoyama on his turn, and it does not work that way.
it does not work that way. It is -1 difficulty. I think that's so what's going on, for anyone that doesn't know, so because of Aoyama's wording, it's -1 difficulty for each of your face downs. Difficulty only refers to the top left number of the card.
Right.
When we go to make a block check, we're using block modifiers, not difficulties of cards.
Correct.
I will destroy rescue completed to ready these.
All right, so here we go. Like,
There's the line.
I will
call
use
it out.
so that,
Good reads.
yeah, so like using the rescue completed to use here, even if this attack doesn't
I'll
get to.
stuff this into my momentum.
Yeah, so that's the other part too, is like you already have the one tapped one. That's the one you want to shove into your momentum. This is for 7 damage right now. Even if we only use powerful
Yeah, so that works. but it
3
doesn't count
twice,
as a block.
you can do it again on the next one, and it's even actually
Still a check
stronger,
to play a
right?
card though, isn't it?
Yes, but the difficulty is not yet.
Oh. All right then.
Look at you go, Judge
Well, I
Tam,
did it,
that
so
passed your
feel
test 4 times.
I mean, you can ready him if you want, because it'd be +1 more.
Yeah.
What do you have? So I'll give a +1 to its powerful rating.
So let's do some math. Let's see if we can live here. 3, 6, 7 speed. What's the block on tongue lashing? I don't know.
And
+1, +2.
I'm gonna give it 6 damage.
I don't know, man. I would have just held it. Like, we know we're gonna check the. Oh,
Makes
we
sense,
kept
Cam.
2
I just
momentum.
never
We're
thought
fine.
about it that hard.
We're fine. It's
That's,
gonna-
no,
it's
that's
doing
what I'm
million
saying.
damage.
So this one's for lethal, and the next one's for lethal too. Like that's why this is the play, right? Even
Yeah.
if
So
like let's
you
say like,
are
man, does my
a
opponent have +ultra here? Because you can
6/5
block
for
+ultra on this
undead.
thing.
Mhm.
So we'll try to half it.
So yeah, +1, 2. So it's on 8. So he can block it. It fails, so we just go on to
Nope,
game
I'm
2. But like like that's what you have to think as the Jiro player. Like he's like, I'm ready. Like if he checks a 5, which he knows he's checking a 5 because he Jiro'd enhanced on this. So
Right.
like I mean, having played a lot of Jiro as like the competitive deck that I've been playing, like that's definitely the line that you have there. And the air
I thought
list
it was
has
so
access to
sly
cards like
cheating.
Rescue Completed and being able to look at the top card of your decks. Being able to combo readying foundations
no.
and knowing what's on top of your
That's the
deck is
first time I've
really
ever tried to
strong.
use it for a
I was
block.
pretty
I
surprised
also
actually to see
have him
plug-in
tapped
in
out
that
on my
deck.
turn.
I don't think that card's very strong at all.
Yeah, that card kind of
Probably
sucks.
played 50
I
games
will
with
say,
Aoyama.
like my favorite technology, a card I'd never
I'm
thought
the
of,
first
honestly,
time.
is Chrome Frog Takedown. That card seems insane if you like just
No, it's
draw the
one-
nuts in
We
Jiro.
will keep this hand.
Jiro is a character that says, I want stuff in my card pool to go strong, right? That
Yeah.
card ignores progressive. And that's kind of where I was kind of alluding to at the beginning of the stream, was that when they were going in on the first attack turn, like seems to be actually the chase card for a lot of people in these plus ultra packs. Now
Yeah.
again, like with plus ultras, like we said, there's other very unique, like the cool characters and everything are fantastic, but like the attack wise, a card that's essentially free, has the infinity symbol, and is incredibly good in 2 players kits specifically, obviously Tokuyami and Froppy.
3.
It's just, the attack just feels unfair, right? Not unfair, but I can relate it to other attacks that exist in Universe's
whatever.
standard, right? That just feel incredibly free to play.
It just lets you wombo combo, right? Like if you just like
No,
rip 3 of
absolutely.
them off the top of your deck, and that's the only attacks that you have, that does not feel good. But you rip 2 of them off the top, and then 2, and then
Cards
one of
that
the
you
throw,
actually
and
give
then
stats
2
to.
home run comets. Man, I would love to give +5/+5 on a 6-diff home run comet. That sounds wonderful.
It's also a high, correct? So like
Yeah.
it still synergizes with home run comment.
Right.
So, and I think just like even going further than that, like with the unwavering slash, which you're obviously playing, that card is incredibly strong, especially in characters that it was designed for, like Jiro.
Yeah.
Like having a card like unwavering slash, which almost also essentially feels free, right? Because it readies a
Right.
card. Now that means you might have tapped 1 for it. The reason I like unwavering slash is because if you just check hot on it, then you can like use enhanced commit abilities on cards. Things like
I'm glad to get rid of it.
what's the one that everybody loves? The
Pass in the torch.
deck- Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I'm glad you knew what I was talking about. But like it's just like, oh, I checked a 5 on this. I guess I'll draw 1 card and then just re-ready it, right?
Yeah, and Air
So-
didn't really have any of those, which is the symbol we're playing on, until we got first day of class. And first day of class,
Exactly.
It says-
If this card's committed for the first thing, like you get +2 to your next check or something. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
yeah,
And then instead of having to use its enhance to ready either itself or another card, right?
it just says response after it's
Ready
committed.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You flip
But
it and
inst-
then ready it. And so,
Instead of having to use it now, you can use it later
correct. Yeah.
because you have cards like Unwavering Slash. So I do love that combo. Again, there's other cards you can do, even just in Momo's kit. If you want to play the other symbols, there's the foundation that commits for stats for a weapon attack, right? Like that's another one I was using in the beginning, and I'm like, oh, this card's not good. So like, but Unwavering Slash let you kind of abuse it twice.
Right.
And tight-lipped on a
So having that plus Crone Frog takedown, and we're playing the air symbols, so we just ready cards, and we have cards like First Day of Class of adding to our check or making our turn super easy.
Mm-hmm.
This can just be a very aggressive air Jiro deck, which the air version of the deck was already kind of like the more aggressive version.
For sure. 100%. Check and pour on this first attack feels pretty rough. I think we commit the that is not the card that I would have committed.
No, I think playing as Jiro and been playing Jiro for so long, like Destined for Mainstream Success is definitely the card you don't like tap, right?
Yeah.
It lets you take orange off the top of your deck, which I think is the strongest part about it. After you use Jiro's once per turn. And now that it's tapped, we can actually just Jiro enhance and only see orange cards on top of our deck, and like even defensively, right? So that means we're checking bad, and you can just lose the game off of that.
Especially because we already have check bad,
Yeah.
Respond.
So that one's a safe check because of the first day of class. So it was on a 5, and we checked a 6.
Correct.
pass.
If it's completely blocked.
Pass.
I mean, after this, we just like
Pass this one.
build our 4 cards and then let it rock. We'll hold a mid block
Well,
to
I mean,
On a
to
five,
fight our to fight
checks.
the
So
breaker
I'll
cards.
Take my 1 and then breaker 2.
yeah. So breaker 2 there will make building a little bit harder. We do have a 0 diff, which is fine, but definitely wanted to build one of the 1 diffs on our hand, probably the asset especially. So this seems to be the one we have to play instead, and we have to hold the earphone jack for the high block.
This is the greediest line I've ever seen in my entire life. He wants this wealthy aspiration so bad he committed Jiro. Crazy.
It's it goes both ways, right? So
Very
kinda like I
on
was
brand
saying-
for the card, I just do this
yeah,
for the money.
That's fair. I think it's also too just like daring Aoyama, hey, can you deal 22 damage right now? Even though I checked bad, and sadly Aoyama did not get very good draws there. So we are just going for a build. Aoyama definitely needs to be thinking defensively here. We're whittling down slowly to 19, and Jiro can easily hit 19 just from 2 attacks at the end of a string.
Right.
Rough.
So we'll draw into more. You still have the home run comment, and now we have 3 momentum. But it looks like Jiro also kind of drew dead. But again, like just slamming the Crow and Frog takedown, it's free. So
Yeah, because like just opening up with the Chrome Frog takedown does so much mental damage, right? Especially with a hand that we have from a Rogue Canadian. He only has 1 high block. right?
Yeah,
If
exactly.
if
So
I don't know why he kept the low. I think keeping the low after seeing his the information we have from game 2 and all the information we have from game 1, there aren't any lows in the deck.
no, there's definitely not going to be. And the fact is that we're also playing a home run comment deck. So when you're playing home run comment, when you're not playing specifically the other cards that are meant to synergize with it, which are the charges, right?
Right.
So when you're not playing the charges, you almost have to always rely on just the high attacks. Granted, in the first set of MHA, like
Good to know.
almost a lot of the attacks in the air symbol are both highs or charges.
Right.
So you're gonna hit it regardless. But like this example with Crow and Frog Takedown, like just leading with it, the fact that it ignores, like there's easily a chance where we just like slam the home run comment. There's also the play here, and this is coming from the person that used to play CCG. You can just slam foundations in your card pool and then go for the comment to make your opponent have to deal with it. With 8 readied cards and then 9 including his character on the Aoyama side of the board, probably not the play here. But we for sure need to catch up in foundations as the Jiro player, because Jiro can do long strings as long as you prepare yourself for it. But having only 6 foundations is probably not enough.
Not to mention, first day of class says your next check to play an attack this turn gets +2. So you can just commit to that Cassie Cage-esque, play a Crow and Frog, commit your first day of class, ready it back up, build out, and then now your kill card you're trying to play is essentially like a 2 or a 3 diff.
Right. Although, so in case while we were talking, so what happened is Jiro did use the once per turn to look at the top 2s, already saw what was coming, used Destin for mainstream success, grabbed an Unwavering Slash off the top of the deck, and so this is kind of what we just talked about, like going the Crow and Frog Takedown, which is a 5 diff, which is essentially free, into this other 5 diff, because it's not on a 6, because of Crow and Frog Takedown ignoring, makes this feel even better. Unwavering Slash draws us another card, so he's kind of even fishing for more, right? And the cool thing is, as your opponent's only at 19, all of Jiro's attacks hit for pretty strong amount of numbers. So like right here, like if Aoyama had chosen to take this damage, you really contemplate, do I play this home run comment and potentially send it for lethal, or vice versa? They're blocking this Unwavering Slash, tapping a lot of their cards. Do we just go for it? It looks like they are choosing to go for it. So we're slamming this. Has the 3 on the top, which is an unknown card for Jiro, because we did draw off the top of the other things that we saw.
And then respond for speed with the earphone jack.
This is...
It's not lethal though, right? Like
it might be
it's
4.
gonna get powerful 4, 12, but it's very blockable. Oh, we have a low. Never mind. We're dead.
23 damage. We can reduce this by 1 and then gain 1, so we actually get exactly even. We flip Jolt right now and then commit the heal 1.
It is
right, so now it's
lethal.
22 damage. Crazy.
It's also one of those things though, like, hold on, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it's actually also unblockable. So no, I mean this is just very good from the Jiro player. Like it's lethal. Our opponent only has 1 card in hand. Again, unless it's like a plus ultra, like this just kills you. And that's kind of one of the perks about home run comment as well, because it synergizes off of other highs, and it also itself being a high, your opponent only has so many high blocks. And as we already kind of knew, holding that low was really kind of rough here, because it meant that we not only took half from the Unwavering Slash, which got us into this lethal range, it means we also just don't have a good block for this.
Yeah, it's interesting because like the reason to hold the low on the air symbol is either the flash attack, which only does 4 damage, or indiscriminate shock, which is like fine. But I think this was a
I guess you could have healed 1 anyway, no matter what.
I think this was an interesting choice to hold the low, and I agree with Fidu in the chat. The mistake Aoyama made was blocking the Crow and Frog. It was 5 damage.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't
I
necessarily
agree.
care about it.
And we saw the same kind of mistakes
What just happened
last
here?
week.
This is 4, 5, 6, and 12.
Yeah, no words.
It should have been 4 damage, per, right?
Yeah, right.
And
And
we
we
had-
+1 do as powerful for each
We had
high
4
or
momentum.
char.
Okay.
We had a face down.
Right.
Huh.
Heal this
So we just
up.
so offensive player
View
just
this
did
low
wrong
block.
math. when the game
Cut
should
off
just be over,
things.
right?
Yeah, that's probably fair.
You gonna intervene?
Yeah.
It had powerful 4. Oh.
Oh, you only added 12 damage. Yeah. I'm fine
Yeah.
with that then.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I drew a mostly gray hand this turn anyway, so I wasn't gonna kill you.
True.
That is true. That
Actually-
is true. Yeah.
Actually,
Good
hold up.
moves.
We
Those
play
moves.
the
Game.
5 diff, right? The not the swing, right? And
Laser.
Just try and
Yeah.
not laser. Yeah, we play amphibious
Wait.
rush
Really?
to
Okay.
try and just get a block in his pool, and then we play laser, and then our first enhance is just a plus ultra for damage, and then you just try and make it as fast as you can, and then like pray that like the specialist
Alright.
sounds don't trigger.
Have a good rest of the night.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, thanks for the catch, Tam. Definitely thought it was
Good
powerful.
job. Good job, Judge Tam. Going at it again.
Hey, that's me. That is me.
I mean, yeah, we were talking as if it was
Have a good
lethal. It was definitely lethal.
Very much so. Are you guys back in chat? Can you guys hear me?